So I've finally reached 200 platinum trophies. Now, originally, my idea was to go for Crash Bandicoot 4 for this milestone, but back last February when I'd come up with that idea, I just couldn't wait that long to go for it. So I decided to come up with a new game when I got closer. And when I did get close to that platinum, I picked to go through a franchise I've always enjoyed growing up, which is Monster Hunter. Now, there were two games that I could have gone through for this, which were Monster Hunter World or Monster Hunter Rise. Now, I decided to pick Rise. This is because I much prefer the mechanics and the movement and the play style of that game over World. I just feel it's more fluid. I played a lot more of Rise due to the enjoyment I had over Worlds. I had 140 hours in the game before going back to it. That was me doing both the main campaign and the DLC Sunbreak, which was fantastic as well. But I thought with Monster Hunter Wilds just around the corner, what better time and what better game to go for a milestone than Monster Hunter itself. So I started this game back out when it released on day one. I even stayed up for the midnight release for it and played 15 hours on the first day. So I was a little bit tired after it, but it's been sitting in my backlog for quite some time. And I've always wanted to go back to it. I was always tempted to go back to it. So I decided, yeah, let's go for it. So I looked back at what trophies I had left to go through, and I had 14 in total. Quite a lot of them are grindy or collectible related, as I had already earned all the story trophies when I first played the game. So with that in mind, I planned out what I needed to do. I got it all set up on a tracker sheet so I could keep up to date on what I needed to get and work my way through it. The rarest trophy in the game to go for were the 2 crown hunting trophies. Now, this is where you go for the large and small crown monsters, which is the largest and smallest versions you can find within a hunt, and obviously either hunt them and slay them or capture them. So with the tracker set up and ready to go, I jumped straight in and started with the crown hunting. There are a total of 43 monsters with crowns for large and small crowns in the game, making that a total of 86 that need to be earned. Now, I had already earned some of them while hunting the game for the base and the DLC story, so when going back to the game, I only had 50 left to hunt. So the first thing I did when hunting for crowns is I went for the 100% quests. These are missions or quests in the game that guarantee you to either have a small or large crown, or both in some cases. This allowed to eliminate some of the monsters that I did or didn't need to get crowns for. Then after that, I decided I was going to initially hunt monsters normally. So I go into a quest as usual, hunt the monster and see if it gave me a crown or not. Initially, that sort of worked quite well. I seemed to go through quite a number of the quests and get a few of the crowns fairly easily within 1 to 2, maybe 3 or 4 monsters. But eventually I would hit a bit of a brick wall and become increasingly frustrated, especially when hunting the Volvodon. I must have hunted 15, 16, possibly even 20 of this monster at this point, and I had not found the large crown I was looking for, and it was really getting to me. So I decided to adopt the method measuring. To be able to measure the monsters, I was using guides I had found online on YouTube. In these guides, they were putting the monsters to sleep on flat surfaces using mega barrel bombs to place next to them while they were asleep to gauge the height of whether or not they were large or small enough for the crowns. Now, these videos actually had the large crowns and the small crowns that I was looking for, so I was able to use the videos as a reference and compare the monster sizes to the ones in my quests. Measuring the monsters for the large crowns and the small crowns makes the whole process faster. Instead of going into a quest, spending 5 to 10 minutes hunting one monster in the hopes that it is large or small enough, you were able to go in, put the monster to sleep, measure it and compare its size to a reference video online, and then abandon the quest if it's not the right size that you need. If it is the right size, you can go through, hunt it and get the crown. There are some instances where the monster still may not be the right size because you are judging it by eye, but I found this to make the process a whole lot faster than if I was to just go in and hunt those specific monsters. I feel if I didn't use the measurement, I would have been hunting hundreds of these monsters due to the percentage drops of these large crowns in the quests. I decided early on that after going through the quests that had the guaranteed crowns, I was going to work my way through the harder missions first to take off the crowns for the harder, bigger hitting monsters such as the elder dragons like Kashaladora and Teostra. This is because I didn't want to have to deal with the mindset of dealing with the grind of going for the crowns towards the end of it, as well as going through the harder monsters at the same time. So I just felt like it was a good idea to go through the harder quests at the beginning and then work my way down the list, slowly coming closer towards the easier, more simple monsters to finish up the crown hunting. Now, the crown hunting not only was made easier, I feel, for myself with the measuring, but having the DLC for the game also made it a little bit easier based on the RNG side of it. In the base game of Rise, the large crowns have a 6% chance of appearing in a quest, and the small crowns have a 3% chance of appearing. This is only in certain quests as well. But in Sunbreak, these odds get increased, and the large crowns have a 10% chance of appearing, and the small crowns now have a 6% chance of appearing. And that doesn't necessarily mean you will find the crown size monsters faster than you would in the base game, because RNG, as we all know it, is fantastic, but it does make you feel a bit better going at it, looking that those chances are higher, and obviously there is an improved chance of you finding it. All of the info that I used to find the crowns, as in what quests they are in and the percentage chance of finding them, so the guaranteed quests and so on, was all found on Kiranko. This has the detailed stats as to what they are and also what sizes they are. So I would definitely urge anyone who is thinking of going for this platinum, look at this website. You'll find all the info for what crowns you are after, or what monsters have crowns in certain quests, and if there are any guaranteed quests as well for them, because I felt it was better to go for the guaranteed crowns straight away. That way then I knew exactly what ones were left down to RNG. So after using the measuring method, hunting all the guaranteed crowns, and the fact of having the DLC to increase the odds of the crowns appearing, I didn't feel that it took that long to get it done, and I didn't even notice the grind going through it because of the variety of the monsters to hunt. And during this stage I did also get the trophy for completing 50 hunts in the Sandy Plains. After getting all the crowns, I decided to give my hunt a little bit of a break and send him off on a fishing trip. This is because it was a trophy for catching 19 fish, one of each different type in the game. To do this, I need to go on 4 quests. 2 need to be in the Shrine Ruins, 1 on low rank and 1 on high rank, and then 2 in the Lava Caverns, again 1 in low rank and another in high rank. This is another RNG element within the game, as you aren't guaranteed to know exactly which fish are going to appear in the fishing areas, but you can keep fishing until you catch everything that you need to. I again had a list to follow of what was in each area and what was tied to a specific rank, so all I did was go on to the low rank quests first, get all the fish that I could available at that level, then once I'd done that I'd move on to the next quest and so on. It didn't take me too long to get this done, and I would then move on to the rampage quests. With the fishing over, it was now back to the real quests in. I picked that back up with the rampage quests. Now, for me, this is the worst part of the game, as this is a new type of quest they actually added in just for this specific game within the franchise, and I just didn't gel with it at all. So much so that I'd only done 10 in the entire time that I played the game, and for the trophy, I needed to get 50 quests done. So to get through it as fast as possible, I picked the low rank rampage quests. That's because with my gear, it would make them a lot faster to go through. It still did take a little bit of a grind to get through, as it's still 40 quests that I needed to get done. But on occasions, I was lucky to have some random people jump in and join me on the quests, which did speed things up a little bit, but not by much. This wasn't something that ruined the overall game and platinum for me, but it was something, if I had the option of not having to do it, I would definitely have left it alone. Now it's on to the collectibles. So there's 7 different types of collectibles in the game. The first one is Great Wire Bugs. Now these are rewards you gain from doing side missions, and once you have enough of them, you can start placing them around the different locales and use them for traversal methods. They allow you to reach further or higher distances within the game a lot easier and faster. The next one then is Old Messages. These are shown in the world as swords stuck in the ground or sticking out of the ground. There are 60 of them to collect in total. 10 of them are linked specifically to one locale, and then the last 10 you need to collect are tied to the rampages. But there are 2 for each locale. So there's 2 in the Shrine Ruins, there's 2 in the Lava Caverns, and so on. Next then are the photographs. You have to take photos of the hunting helpers, which is for 1, the rare creatures, now there is 1 rare creature in each locale, and the endemic life. The photos are not too difficult to actually gain through. It's very quickly able to be obtained, especially with the fact that anything you need to look for, the game itself tells you its location. The one that's a little bit more trickier to find are the rare creatures, but the guides out online that tell you exactly where, when and how to encounter them to see the photos, and you may stumble across one or two. So if you were going for this yourself, best thing to do is if you haven't encountered something before or it's new, just take a photo of it. It doesn't take too long and it'll reduce your cleanup at the end. Then we have the golden spirit bugs. These are little golden glittery creatures you see flying and floating around the map. You need to collect 1,000 of these in total. Now it sounds like a lot, but as long as you are actually catching them or grabbing, I would say at least one a quest, you are likely to get this done well before you actually finish the game. And if you don't get one in each quest, if you can just do on some of them, if you see it and you're running past it, just grab it. It'll make your life a lot easier again on cleanup. It also does give you some points that you can use to buy obviously the meals in the canteen of the game and other things around, so it will actually help you as well in the long run. And lastly then, there's the decorations. Now these are split up into monster scrolls, non-monster scrolls, so story related quest scrolls, and then little trinkets which you win through the lottery, which is available when there's a sale on in the store. I will break that one down a little bit further on, but I'll talk about the other two now. So the scrolls for the monsters, you need to hunt 10 of each monster, which you will encounter some of them, and you will naturally do these anyway for quite a few monsters, especially when grinding for materials to upgrade weapons and armor. You will naturally come across some of these yourselves, but there were quite a few that I had to clean up myself, but not too difficult, nice and easy. Just sort of best way I found of doing it was, rather than just going straight in, oh, I'm going to hand this one, then the next one, it was probably easier to find out how many you have had of each one and then sort of work out the best order to do it in. So when I had quite a few left to do, I just sort of bounced between each monster. So rather than hunting the same monster until I had 10 and then the next one and then the next one, I just found it a lot more fun and more enjoyable to bounce between quests. Give yourself a little bit more variety. So now all I had left to get were 2 trophies. One for hunting 1,000 monsters and the other for collecting all decorations in the base game. So let's start with the 1,000 monsters. 1,000 monsters sounds like a lot, and it is, because after beating everything else in the game and only being left with 2 trophies, I still had only hunted 700 in total, leaving me with 300 left to grind out. I did, however, find a 1-star low rank quest which would help make the grind go a little bit faster. This quest contained 3 low rank monsters in the arena, which due to my high level gear I was able to complete within 2 to 3 minutes on average. Tie that in with the 60-second waiting time for the hunts to finish, and I was circulating the quest every 4 to 5 minutes, which was a lot faster than doing a normal hunt, hunting 1 monster at a time. And I would just continue this cycle until I had hunted all 1,000 monsters needed. But doing this repetitive quest did also help towards the next trophy that I was waiting on, and my final trophy I earned for the game, the decorations. So the decorations were the final trophy for me to drop in this game, due to it being an RNG nightmare. The decorations needed can be broken up into 3 types. You have the story-based collectibles, which are awarded for completing certain story quests. There are the scrolls for killing 10 of each type of monster, which you then need to purchase from a special goods store. And the RNG nightmare of it all, the trinkets. The trinkets were the RNG nightmare it was because of one simple thing: the lottery in the store. The lottery would only appear in the store when there was a sale, and there would only be a sale at a random chance after completing a quest. And this isn't where the RNG ends. Not only would you have to have it appear in the store, you then had to have the luck of the decorations being the grand prize in the store. And then to top it off, you also needed the RNG to allow you to win the grand prize in the store. And that isn't all to make this a nightmare, as due to the fact of me adding the DLC into this game, I also added a whole list more of other trinkets that could appear in the store, meaning that when I was going for the jackpot prizes, it also added a chance of a decoration I didn't need to be as the jackpot prize. So there were numerous reasons to be frustrated with this trophy. There would be times you come back from a quest and it wouldn't be a sale on in the store, which wasn't too bad. There would be times you come back, there would be a sale, but the prize wouldn't be a decoration. Or you come back and the prize would be a decoration that was for the DLC. But none were worse than coming back, seeing the sale in the store, seeing the decoration you need, and not winning it. That was horrible. For this trophy, I was constantly monitoring the pop-ups that were coming up on the right hand side of the screen to tell me that there was a sale in the store, and every time there was, I would make sure to go to that store, and if I saw any decoration, purchase a ticket and try my luck at winning one. This is because even if there was a DLC trinket in there, it was better to go for it and win it, to remove it from rotation, as you could only ever win the trinket once, than leave it there and then encounter the issue of that trinket reappearing again in the future. And with my luck, I was winning far more of the DLC trinkets more often than I was winning the base game to begin with. But after doing everything else in this game, even hunting the 1000 monsters and recycling that quest over and over, I still had 3 base game trinkets left to collect and 8 other DLC ones that were still available. So again, I found a nice, easy, quick quest to repeat to speed up the grind process for this trophy. To help with the quest I found, I added a decoration to my armor to increase my botanist skill. This skill allowed me to gather more herbs and resource items from gathering spots. And I added this skill to my armor because the quest I found was a gathering quest in the village that needed me to gather 8 lantern herbs. The reason I picked this quest was because not only now with the botanist skill was I able to pick up more from each resource, they were all very, very easy to get to and quick to get to. You spawn in the map, you could get 2 at the first spawn very easily, which are also highlighted on the map, again speeding up the process. Fast travel then to the second camp, which you have to have unlocked anyway for the game, and gather the other ones around there. There was a chance of you getting it all done by the time you gathered the first 3, or you may have to do a few more. But I was able to, again on average, complete this quest within 1 to 2 minutes, and it was only a 20-second wait to go back to base camp, speeding up the cycling chances of a lottery appearing in the store. And this drastically cut down the time spent trying to earn this trophy, because I was able to get through more quests in a shorter space of time than if I was to hunt normal monsters again at my current level. And after a few hours of sitting and watching TV while trying to get this trophy done, the last one appeared in the store and a jackpot ball dropped along with the final trophy of the game and the platinum. Overall, I enjoyed going back for this platinum, but I do really enjoy the Monster Hunter franchise and always have. I really enjoy learning the mechanics of the monsters that I'm hunting and learning the moveset. I find it's a little bit like a boss fight that you just over time gradually improve at and get better at fighting. It is also a game or franchise of games that I would urge everyone to at least try it once. However, the platinum is a little bit more grindy, not something I would probably say that everyone is more open to. In total, after the 140 hours I'd already put in the game before going back, I am now sitting at something about 257 in total in the game. So it's taken me 117 extra hours on top of what I'd already done just to get the platinum trophy, which I know for some people it's quite a bit of a commitment on top of what you would normally like to play into a game. As for it being a milestone platinum, this is actually going to be my last milestone platinum, and I don't mean that as in I won't be going for any more trophy hunting anymore. What I mean is I am no longer going to set a specific game for a specific trophy number, only because I've had a few other games I could have been playing along this and I probably could have done them at the same time, but I've just been holding out just to get this to pop for my 200, and that can sour, I think, the experience of a platinum in itself, or the experience of a game in general. Just holding out for a specific day, time or reason isn't the best way of experiencing the game. So to end it, what platinum is everyone else working on, and do you have any plans for your milestone platinums, or are you a bit like me now where you don't feel that setting a game for a milestone is enjoyable? And just to say thank you all for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed.